Yo, yo, yo.
Well,
That's really loud. What's up, guys? How we do? How we do? Hee.
awesome. What's up, Frank?
What's up? What's up? I like your background, Alexander. You got some cars there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm a car guy, so try to have a little. They're all 1/18th scale. You got anywhere from Lamborghinis, Vipers, old school muscles, Ford GTs. Gosh, it's a collection over years, man.
Let's go. Yeah, my dad has a 73 Chevy Nova, but I'm not
Go.
much of a car guy. But that's
Hey,
he
that's one of them right there.
that is a car.
It is a car.
Um, heck yeah. What's up, Blake, Daniel, Will, Avery, dude? Congrats on the wins, man. Hitting 1K. Let's go.
Thank you, brother.
Tell us about it. Tell us about your journey so far, how it's been.
Interesting. Prior to doing this, I've been a part of the community for a while, but I wasn't doing anything. I was like one of those background characters, just kind of looking around. And then I started working on it on the side, and then I got my first client. And at the time, I was working for my uncle, doing HVAC stuff, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, there's a lot of cool stuff that I can do to help us out." And he just didn't see the vision. I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I was running the company for him, basically. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to start taking Wednesdays to work on my stuff." And he didn't like that, so he let me go, and now I work for myself.
Let's
Um,
go.
but yeah, I mean, we've been just booking appointments left and right. I booked another 6 appointments today. Um,
Ooh, nice.
yeah, I'm excited. I got some weird stuff going on. I have a multi-location personal injury attorney
Okay.
that I'm doing stuff for. I've got roofing companies, a car detailer now, appliance repair. I've got a massage therapist I'm going to see Friday, and a florist on next Thursday, and the list goes on. It's cool.
All over the place in terms of industries. Let's go. Are you how you getting the clients? Are you calling or what are you doing?
Networking.
Networking.
Networking,
Okay.
networking. So I was a part of a bunch of different networking organizations while I was working for my uncle. And that's how I learned how to talk to business owners to begin with. I mean, every week I was in a room with 60 to 100 different business owners, and I had to stand up and talk in front of them. I'd be shaking like a stripper, dude, just but eventually you get past that, and yeah, it's been great. I like in person. I have much better luck with that, but I have been cold calling. But I do it a little different. I gather all my data and stuff while I'm at these meetings and get all their numbers and stuff, and then after the fact, I'm warm now, so then I
Mhm.
boop, reach out to him and go from there. But the roofing company, that was a strictly cold call, and that
Nice.
translated well. That's 230 a month.
Let's go. Are you doing just reviews or what else?
Reviews and listings. I do the listing stuff through Yext.
Through what?
Yext.
What is that?
YEXT. So on GHL, there's a option to do local listings. The service that they do it through is Yext. But it's like 80 plus local directories and listings and stuff. But it's hard because you can't really track anything. I mean, basically what I tell them is like, hey, I can't track it. I can make sure that you're across all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're not asking your clients where they heard about you from, I don't know if I'm actually doing anything as far as that goes.
Right.
But Daniel's been doing it, and I did some SEO and stuff for him, and brought him from like 4 pages deep on Google to ranking number 2 in his local area, and his phone won't stop.
Let's go. Heck yeah. That's what's up. I haven't heard of that. That's cool. That's a new one. It's what's it called? It's EYEX or
YEXT
YEX.
What are you charging them for that, Avery? Because I know it's 30 bucks
80.
for high level with the add-on.
I do it as 80, but what I do, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go for just a second. But I have it on there on my Stripe as a additional service. So when they go to check out and stuff, they'll see that, what's that? And then they ask me, and I'm like, I just explain it to them, like, I don't know if it's worth your time or not, but it worked well for this guy. If you want to do it, go for it. Just like the roofing company, I told her originally 99 a month. And then we bumped our prices up because I started looking at everybody else doing 149. I let her know, I was like, hey, we did just bring our prices up, but I told you 99. I'm a man of my word. I'll honor that. She's like, nope, I want to pay you what your price is. So she did. And then when she went to check out, she's seen the listings and she's like, cool, I want that too. And I was like, oh, this is great. Went from 99 to 230 when I walked out of the door. I'll be right back. I'm getting my dryer vent cleaned out. One second.
Do your thing. Okay, so he's putting it actually on the Stripe page as an additional upsell, which is an interesting way to go about that. I like that. Kind of makes it just really easy to select which ones you want, especially if we're like, branching outside of with different services. We can just literally tag them on and they can press and choose. I like that. That's a cool idea. Nice. Let's go. Will, I know you had some wins too, man. Tell us about it. Yeah.
Hi, Frankie. Hi, everybody. So yeah, that was a big week for me. But that was also a massive fail for the ads campaign.
Okay.
I was aiming for aesthetics. I spent $400 and got zero leads from aesthetics. It's just some car people, just car detailing stuff. Somehow, uh, I got a vineyard too. Like it's yeah, so I'm reworking now on my ads as we speak. So that's the wins. But I still make no money. So I'm all on free trials for 1 month.
Okay.
So to me, it's not important. I can sustain it. It's just getting clients in, getting some reps in. So that's just as uh, that's the only thing that's important to me because I do not have a background in sales. I was working in the mines before, so that's it's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's all about reps. I think you can come into this type of model and especially just because of the offer and how it's a free trial. I would recommend it's just my opinion in getting that trial down to at least 2 weeks. I don't think you need to do a month by any means. Even a week.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to do a month, man. They're gonna see the results within a day if you're doing the review business or like anyone else in here. They're gonna see that results fast. You don't have to do a month, and that's gonna help you with cash flow a lot too. Has anyone in here actually had success with Facebook ads yet with any offer? Um, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
For
had a
30
little
days.
30 days. I had a little bit of success using UpHex. I don't know if you've like heard about it. It kind of like helps like Facebook ads go a little bit easier. Um, I see a couple other high level guys talking about it. I forget who it was though. So I tried it out and it was with one of my earlier um clients I've ever had. He was a car detailer and he wanted to run ads for his area. So I was like, I'll run it. I'll use a new software though. So because like his whole main like churn point was that he didn't want to like go through the whole integration process, sit down, go through it, especially because he was local. But I said like, dude, I don't even have to UpHex makes it super easy for me to connect, because with high level, you connect everything in there. You can definitely connect your Facebook ads page to it, and then you can just run the ads through the sub account. And he's seen success with it. But that's all my knowledge on it. I like UpHex. I'd recommend it.
Up Hex. Okay, I'm gonna check that
Yeah.
out. And two for everybody in here, so like remind me, Judson, Austin, Nelson, are you guys doing review business, like a review automation business? Are you guys doing voice AI or just so I can contextually understand? Are you
Um, I'm not doing review business. I'm I'm doing lead gen right now.
you're doing lead gen?
Yep.
Do you do through Facebook ads? Is that
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of where we're thinking about transitioning next year is basically upselling our clients to actual Facebook ad lead gen.
That's
Uh,
actually that's a good idea. I know a lot of like web designers, they went into like Facebook and Google ads because they just had a client relationship before, especially with their long-term clients. So that's a really smart model.
Yeah, websites, reviews, even database reactivation, great entry offers, get them results right off the bat. Now they trust you, right? Within that 2 week trial, we're getting them reviews literally the next day, which is really rare with inside of the marketing space of being able to do
Hmm.
what you say you're going to do quickly.
Yeah.
Uh, but we've even when we partnered up, we've kind of been mentored by my buddy that has a 6 figure a month agency. All he does is Facebook lead gen. And you can cold call for that too. Blake, I know I saw your post about selling higher ticket stuff, um, which I still think building a base of like low ticket monthly recurring is what's going to be really stable. But then really like next year scaling into like crazy numbers is going to come from an offer that's, several $1,000s. Um, but, but yeah, how long have you been running the biz, Judson?
It's almost a year and a half now. So That's mainly what I've been doing is with the Facebook ads. It's kind of been hard to get a niche though, just because, I'm right now I'm in the water treatment niche, but I've kind of been niche hopping for a little
That's
bit,
right.
which definitely not as good to do because then you don't learn as much. But I mean, I like to know like who I'd like to work with, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
But I was doing cold calling today though. That's why I'm here. So
Heck yeah. How'd it go?
I booked 4 meetings.
Let's go.
One was like a no-show because two I booked today. And then I just got off a Zoom meeting with one of them. So
Nice, man. Let's go.
I didn't close him, but it is what it is.
As it goes. Can't win them
Yeah.
all. Dude, in terms of the niches, I think I was actually looking up the other day home service. So here, I'll share it with you. I pulled it up because I thought I was going to bring it up. Home services companies across the country, there's 2.5 million. If we're going to go after home service businesses, 2.5 million across the country. And so I just bring that up because I think sometimes people go, I don't know, there's so much competition and marketing and all this stuff. Guys, there's just in home services, 2.5 million, and that's just one niche. And so, and also too, people pop in and out of the market of buying stages, right? Because sometimes people will think like, oh, I've called this list, like I have several lists in my CRM, but people's their situations change, where they're at in their life, and just their mindset. You might call them after they saw 3 ads in the last week about doing lead gen for their business, and now all those ads have warmed them up for your call when you call, right? So timing and understanding how big this opportunity is and how big the market is one thing I try to keep in my head just to stay motivated because there's just so much opportunity. And if we can get 50 people to pay us a couple $100 a month, like, that changes, that's what everyone's looking for, right? I
For
mean,
sure.
and that's and if you're doing lead gen, I don't know what you're plan on charging or what you charge.
Mhm.
My buddy, he does. I like how he structures his offer. This might help you. He does. They don't pay him a dime until they close his first job from the leads. So the first lead they close, that's when they pay. Then it's a 2K retainer every month. They pay Facebook. They spend that money, and then after that, it's just month to month.
Smart.
I think a lot of companies do contracts, and that there's pros and cons to everything, but I just like that offer. Um, Austin, I don't think we've met. How are you, man?
Hey, what's up? Good to be here. Yeah, first time. I think we were DMing a couple weeks and then I got sick. But yeah, I heard your question a minute ago. I'm probably not in uh the average business that y'all are in. So I'm in more of a niche and but do a lot of cold outbound and etc. So yeah, good times.
Sweet. What do you do?
So I'm in the missing money
That's
industry,
right. Okay, cool.
unclaimed funds.
Yeah.
They're
I did
officially
some
called.
I had to look up what that was, and like do some research on that. If you could share it with us, what you think about cold calling, what you've learned, any tips or anything like that you've because you said you do a lot of it. So
Yeah, and my before this, my background was in B2B technology and services, so did a lot of cold outreach for that. So just all the traditional stuff, you know, I think this niche and the industry of unclaimed funds and missing money is unique because the offer is real simple, real good. Like, hey, I'm going to get you your money back. No money up front, nothing out of pocket. It's zero risk to you. So, I'm finding checks for 10 or $20,000 and I get, 20-ish, 10 to 20% of that or more some cases. So it's kind of a no-brainer offer, but I think that doesn't mean that building trust and having a smooth operation and in order to execute quickly is really important in what we do to help clients file claims and understand the government agencies and like for instance my lead sources, I work 4 dozen different lead sources, which really changes how you can even interact or what you can do with the client. And always maintaining like high levels of, trust and ethics is really important in any business, but especially this one. So that's what I look for. And, I think in the cold outreach, it's just about really connecting human to human and cutting through all the bullshit and providing data where we can and, moving on to the next lead or the next opportunity because not everyone's going to work out your way. And I like what you said about always keeping in mind like the size of the opportunity. Your TAM is really big. The amount of people we can work with now or down the road is usually expanding. In my market, it happens to be a fixed market where if I was able to solve the problem I want to, then the problem wouldn't exist. But in marketing and other services, it's kind of an expansive opportunity. So yeah, I would agree that I think I liked what was it Alexander or someone was talking about niche hopping. And that sounds really fun, but I've been and I enjoy that or the shiny objects and some of the fun tech stuff. But yeah, I've definitely been getting a ton more traction and loving my conversions, just focusing on really simple things and building that ecosystem and big pipeline.
Yeah, it's always a hard choice of like sticking to one thing and and doing that, but there's actually a lot of when you pick one script, one niche, and one thing, like you just can compound on getting better. But on the other hand, right, the ability to change around if you can, if your service allows that, keeps you fresh, keeps it fun. I will say for our side of the business in terms of like integrating into people's CRMs, like that's kind of what's is more important rather than the niche for the review side of the business. But there's something to be said, obviously, about sticking to one thing. Part of probably what drew a lot of us to this business model is there is a lot of flexibility. But sticking to one industry does make a lot of sense. But I appreciate you sharing that, Austin. Thank you. Um, Hi, Star. Good to see you again. Yeah, good to see you. I love the pink in the background. Um, uh, guys, who's been struggling on calls and like what is felt like the issue is or something that's popping into their mind of this is hard or they're running into issues with.
I've had issues.
Oh, who is that?
Yeah, it's me, William. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you running into?
Yeah, just I basically have a full-time job, so I call in the end of the afternoon and people they just don't pick up the phone as much. If
Mhm.
I call for an hour and a half, I may talk to 8, 9 people, 10 people. Like it's like the volume is not there, basically.
Is it so you're working another job and is that your only time to call essentially?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I think it's a mindset thing of like, first off, 10 conversations. That's usually, I usually get 10 to 20 conversations a day with actual like decision makers. So if you're talking about answer rates, you might be getting what, like 4 or 5 of them to be actual decision makers, right? Or is it more?
About, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if that's your only time, I would look maybe calling Saturdays if you don't work then. Nothing wrong with that. But also if you're working the job, you need to work that job, and this is the time that you have for yourself to call, like then you're doing the thing. That's a win. Like if
Yeah.
you truly don't have any additional time to do it, then you're doing the thing, right? And so first realize, and then that's good. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and it will come if you keep doing it. Obviously, you want more time, but we try to hit 100 calls a day. That takes us 2.5 hours, sometimes faster. I can call pretty quick now, and I get 10 to 20 decision makers, right? And if I'm feeling good, I'll book. It depends. Sometimes I don't book any. Sometimes I book 5, right? Uh, Also, too, because brought up the Facebook ad thing as well. If you don't have the budget, like to throw like thousands of dollars away, I wouldn't do that yet. That's just my opinion. Like, if you don't have experience running Facebook ads, nor a budget to lose that money, or if you don't have the money coming from the business yet to reinvest back in, like, don't do it. And also, too, like the way like Clay's running ads, because I saw somebody mention that, like copying his ads, you have to realize so he's losing money that first month. And because his offer, if he I actually he changed, I don't know if he's doing the same pricing model. Because I don't know if you guys saw, he removed pricing from the website And he also is only doing demo call books because he was trying to have them onboard themselves for a long time. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And now it's all going back to demo calls. But if your average order value, this is what Alex Hormozy says, if your cost to acquire a customer, if you can't get that back in the first month, if your model isn't aligned with that, then you should probably adjust your offer or just have a lot of money to throw up Facebook ads. And you can see even like, do you guys know Kai Stone, the website guy? No, you should check his stuff out. It's really good. But he does websites for $297 a month, right? And he says it costs him about $300 to acquire a customer. Awesome. He's getting that money back that first month. And now he's got, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I think he does over six figures a month. So he can just dump that money back into Facebook ads. But that's why I preach cold calling in the beginning, because we're going to get to a point, the people that are consistent, that we're making 10, 20K a month. And ideally, if we structure our life right, we can put that money back into Facebook ads and be okay to lose it, because that's just business, right? But I don't have a ton of experience yet with running Facebook ads, so I might, if you do and you have that money, then run it. But with your calls with William or anybody else, is there any like hiccups in terms of like the pitch or like where you get caught up, anything like that? Okay, everyone's crushing. I did a new opener this week, which is fun. I tested it out. It's kind of silly, but I am very new. But it's please advise on how to build a list. Abukar, what up, dude? I have a video in here in the course section of how to build a list. So basically, I use Outscraper, and you can go inside of there, and it's pretty simple, straightforward, and it's really affordable. But the new opener that I found that I want your guys' opinion on, it's it's just they go, hey, hello. I was like, hey, what's up? It's Frank. I'm trying to sell you something, and that's it. And it's so fun. Oh my gosh. I get through a couple times, and the way I can't like it where it came to me is, have you guys been getting the the like, hi, this is a Google assistant. Can you please say your name and why you're calling? And that's where I try it, because that it works really well with that. Hey, this is Marion. I'm calling to sell you something. Hi, this is Blake, and they answer. What I kind of think I need to add to it though is like, rather than just leaving it like, I'm trying to sell you something, like, do you have 20 seconds? So yeah, but I've been playing with that one. It's really to the point. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I also think it depends on the type of people you're calling. But they're either gonna like say no. But any opener's pretty much the same with that. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If do you what'd you say, man? Do you only do that for Google AI, or do you try to do it for calls? Yeah, no, I do it for actual like calls too, and I've had some success over that they let me talk after that. It's straight to the point. Does anyone else have any openers that they're testing, or just intro advice of how they go about starting their calls that could be helpful to other people? Not all at once.
I'll go. So I know it's different for retail business owners, if that's who we're calling on. Sometimes so most of the time you don't know maybe the business owner by name. It's not in the reviews. Maybe you didn't look up their business entity on a state, site or something like that. But if and when you do know the owner's name of who you're trying to reach, I just find that helps a lot. It also can confirm if whether you're wasting time pitching to a gatekeeper or a cashier or something. Um, so that's what I go for. I just have that research process in my list building stage of, can we, so I get about 60% of my B2B leads, I find a business owner name, but for the 40% that you don't, where I'm in the dark, then yeah, you do have to have what's that the NLP name, but that attention grabber to get them out of the sales mode. And something as direct like that could actually work. I was curious to hear how many calls or how much you've been able to test that so far, Frankie.
Yeah, I think I've done it for maybe 20 or so. and have probably had five or so let me talk. The only thing I don't like about it, like why I like the partnership angle, because typically my openers, hey, this is Frank calling about a partnership I had in mind. Is it a bad time to talk? And the partnership angle also tells me if they're a gate guard or not. So like one of the really good conversations that I had was found out it wasn't the owner, but she was like close to the owner and but so it kind of avoids it kind of doesn't have that benefit, but you could just follow up after. And this is your business, yeah. Um, but I don't know, just changing it up in some regard because I've said the same thing, all year. But it works for me. So when we first started, we weren't even doing openers. We were just going right into it. But I still think the permission-based opener is the way to go. Um,
Yeah, something I can share.
yeah.
Like on my first week when I started the partnership intro and I got a few, oh, we're not interested right away. I haven't even said the what it is. I said, oh, let me try something more direct. So I said, hi, is this Lila? Um, I help businesses. Hi, hello. I help businesses with their Google reviews. I'm wondering if I'm just wondering if that's something you think about. That's
Ooh,
my first line. And
ooh,
then
like
right
that.
away I get, I'm not a decision maker or da da da, but it's, yeah.
I like that a lot. I Someone else says the review thing right off the bat, but
Yeah,
Blake.
I mentioned it on the post actually. And but I make sure that I get a first yes first. Like, is this ABC business? Yeah. So that there's a primary yes. And then I go with I help business with Google reviews. I'm just wondering if that's something you think about with that kind of like a soft tone. And then yeah, they
I
say
like
no or
that.
yes.
It's also very direct. Yeah. Is that something you guys even think about? With that
Right,
kind of, yeah,
right.
yeah. Is that so
But
curious?
when I turned now to the beauty industry and I say the partnership line, I said, let me try this again. And I do I'm here to chat about a potential partnership if you have time. Interestingly, the beauty industry med spa salon, they're more interested in that. They don't say no. It's like, oh, what partnership? You know,
Hmm.
probably they're more used to that kind of thing. So that's what I found.
Are you getting decision makers with med spas?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, interestingly, like a lot, and I get callbacks too. Like, and when I get voicemail, hi, this is Kathy, call me back for da 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 da. I don't even say what I'm calling for, and then they call me back. And then I have more confidence to tell them what it's about because I know they have time. They called me back, you know?
Callbacks are amazing. I have a
Mhm.
way higher conversion rate with callbacks. And a callback being you call them and then they call you back. If in case that. But and also too, for you guys, I had a gate guard, where it's like, uh, oh yeah, we'll have him call you back. Someone actually called back, and Sam closed him today. So it was a local one, and yeah, I don't know if it was because it was a local angle, but I said, hey, I'm calling about a business partnership, and she's like, okay, he'll reach back out, and then he did on a callback. Um, Kathy, did you deal with HIPAA stuff with med spas? Great question.
Yeah, no, not yet. It's mostly some say they're med spa, but they're actually non-medical aesthetic salons. So those don't deal with HIPAA.
Any before I start, like name of business? Yeah, Avery.
So I was going through that earlier. I have a med spa that I'm going to present to on Friday. So the HIPAA stuff, it does not apply to massage therapist, optometrist, or there's one more. I forgot what the other one is, but it does not apply to either of those guys. And I did try that. I'm calling to sell you something thing, and that's how I got the roofing company.
Really?
Yeah, so I called her. She picked up the phone. She's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey, sorry." I was like, "Hey, this is Avery. I'm calling to solicit you." And she's like, "What? You're call?"
I love that. It's so direct.
Yeah.
It's right
I
to
was
the.
like, "I'm calling to solicit you right now," and she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm calling to sell you something, but hear me out. It works." And then she gave me the time of day to actually talk to her and went over the whole thing, and she loved it and went in and boom.
Let's go. Heck yeah. Yeah, maybe being direct because everyone's so used to like long drawn out things of like getting to the point. And partnership's kind of vague, right? But I immediately follow it up with like something. But I think the important thing is just call and say something and say something. It doesn't matter. I'd be like, just do the thing. And guess what? 80% of like success in cold calling is cold calling, and no one does it. But I shouldn't say no one. You know, you guys are here. But uh, uh, Abdu, so two things before I start, like a name website before cold calling, do I need in place? Dude, honestly, to answer your question on that, dude, just start calling. We didn't even like you make a website basic if you want to. You could do that like in a day. It can be like, and just tell people like, hey, dude, I'm brand new. Just start calling. And then you get some interest, meet them in person if you can, if you're calling locally. If you're not, then a website makes more sense. But we couldn't even fulfill on our service when we started calling and actually booking appointments. We signed people up and we're like, hey, it's going to take a week before we had our numbers verified and all that. So just start, because everyone does this thing where it's like, oh, I need to get this done. I've done this plenty. I need to get this done before I can do this. No, you don't. You can all that. You're not in business until you have a client. So, you know, even if you're doing it for free and the work's for free, it's a great way to start. I would do that. Sunny, good to have you here. Lauren, good to have you here. Lauren and I had a really good conversation actually about Facebook ads last time. That was super helpful. If you don't mind, I know how to set up. I get distracted when I read these messages. Okay. I know how to set up for that service for reviews. I call anyway. Yep. But really quick on what she taught me, unless you want to say it, Lauren. But basically, long story short, she runs at. If you don't, do you mind me sharing this, Lauren? It was really valuable on our call.
Oh, okay. If you find it valuable, I mean,
Yeah, I liked this approach, and but basically, she does value type content for her local area. So she'll make like a video, like just walking through how to set up the automation and go high level, for example, to get reviews. Like that's just an example, and just teaching them how to do it, right? So she'll run that as an ad in her local area, get a bunch of views. And then on Facebook, you can retarget people that have watched, 50, 95% of your video. And then that video that you target to the people that have watched that video is more of like, hey, book a call with me. Is that kind of what am I on with that, Lauren? Or
yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it. I make a bunch of like video ads and posts. I'll walk them through. I'll show them the whole thing because what's the big secret? Because you can go on YouTube for this anyway. Because the thing about you're selling them their time back because they don't got time to do that. So I just show them like what it's about. It's not a big mystery, and I kind of make any questions that I would get about a thing. I make that thing a video, or I make that thing a post just to educate them about the whole thing. So I run that. I get an audience in the area that I want to serve, and then I just run videos on the back end. It's more like direct to call, like, oh, you want to see how this works? This is a client of mine. This is what they got. They went from, let's say, 15 reviews and now they're up to 95. We've been working for a couple of months, but offer them a way to contact you, like DM you. I found that businesses like to DM more than call. So to respond back, so they'll be like, oh yeah, this I'm on a job right now. Can you call me like in like 2 o'clock or something, or like after 6? It's just easier to get them to do that in the DMs, and then from there, it's just easier to sell them. They might have one or two other questions, but they're kind of already pre-sold already.
I think that makes so much sense. And like you gave me the advice because we ran Facebook ads. We got for like a week. We spent like $300 and got a bunch of clicks to our website and no meetings booked. And I think the point that I took home from what you said, Lauren, is make it really easy for people just to raise their hand and say they're interested from a
Yeah.
Facebook. And then you do the thing of texting them, calling them, but now they've shown interest. Now you have targets of warm leads.
Yeah, it's like the concept is with any kind of ad because you're just kind of throwing it out there in the cold, or like even when you're doing a phone call, it's like people don't know who you are, and there's a lot of in the small business space, there's not a lot of trust because people take advantage of them a lot, and like in the atmosphere we're all in, like a lot of small businesses can't get loans right now because they can't get the SBA stuff. So what you want to do is like be empathetic, but you want people who are ready right now to raise your hands because we're trying to make some sales. So you ask the question in a way where it's just someone could easily say yes because you have to work through the whole thing. What most people try to do is we try to sell the whole thing in front, and it's just a little bit too much right now. It's more like, are you trying to figure out how to get reviews? Yeah, raise my hand. Gotcha. Because now I know you're even. I could possibly eventually get you that conversation, like for you guys who are doing reviews, to get you like, okay, here's this thing, and we can get the reviews for you, kind of conversation. So you just want them to validate and get your first yes. So, oh, you guys are looking to get more reviews? Yeah. Are you guys having trouble getting reviews? Yeah, I'm having trouble. Oh, let me tell you a couple ways to get them. And then you answer those questions, and they're like, okay, you give me good advice. I trust you. Oh, by the way, this is either they'll ask you, hey, well, what do you do? Or I have this thing that makes it easier for my customers. Or if you guys are doing like the review first 7 days or so of your reviews for them, that's how you do it. But it might be instead of the direct one step right there, for you guys, it might be 2 or 3 steps, but the sales come so much easier.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think if we're gonna put a budget towards it, and this is like the next year thing in my head of scaling the business is just figuring out Facebook ads. But I think that approach of just getting people to raise their hand makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Lauren. That was super helpful.
No problem. I hope it's helpful to folks. I get some helpful stuff here, so I'm always happy to contribute something, make it easier.
Heck yeah, thank you. Daniel, I saw you started calling again. Got some appointments. What was how to go? What was your approach?
Same thing as always. Very standard. I called 50 people, booked two, and 2 follow-ups.
Nice. What was the script or what was anything
The
different?
same thing.
Same thing. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. And you know what this is? It's and this is where most people it's just doing the same thing over and over and over again and over again and over again and over again. And then one day we wake up with a business that provides for us and does all the things. So it's just staying in that. So a couple thoughts on just like the habit things. Does anyone like have habits related to cold calling? Like some ideas that I've experienced recently is like I set a timer for 10 minutes. I kind of meditate beforehand. I have my first person I'm calling on my screen and the list that I'm going to call. And I literally after my timer goes off for meditation, I immediately hop in. I've been playing with that. But does anyone else have any like ways they structure their day around cold calling?
I'll add something to it.
Yeah.
I believe I saw it from Hermosi himself too. One big thing, like I add on that, like prep the whole entire screen right before I start, but I make it super dumb easy to like now I have to focus on this. I like put the phone like in a different room. I don't like I put on DND so like my MacBook don't start sending tweets and everything out to me. And then like you put the script down and then I add a bullet, like kind of like a checklist, like what's the minimum amount I gotta reach out to. You got to judge how much hours, minutes, if you have half an hour, 2 hours, everyone's got different stages. But if you're cut on like time to do it, the best way to like kind of like use that whole time frame is to like, okay, if I have to make 25 calls or you want to put also have to talk to one decision maker and you just don't stop until you get those bullet points down. You do like, and then like if the time runs out, you just, you made progress. And then like script wise, you start going. If the script don't work, that's the thing. It's like repetition's key. If you're reaching a lot of gate guards, one habit that I use that helps a lot, and it just because it gets you in the rhythm of it. You like talk to the gate guard. If they're being a pain in the ass, sorry for my French. You cut it off short and sweet. But if there's something like you can get value, like Frank, I don't cold call a lot. I've done a lot of different ways of outreach, and cold call is just kind of like something I've been picking up. Don't like it. I don't like to sell people stuff, but I was like, as long as you make it like a connection, like a friendship that they can trust you, and they know that okay, he's not just out run for my money. Um, Free value, give a week, 2 week tops, free trial. Like it makes it stupid for them to say no to it. That's a key point that like if you just make your offer irresistible, they'll come in time, and you just got to have the grit for it. You just got to keep calling, keep calling. It's the same thing every day. Quote Frankie, much love. And, you just keep pushing, like you'll meet assholes, there's a lot of them, but there's good people in the world too. and you put in the time, you'll get the reward. You signed up to be a business owner. If this was a hobby, if you want change, it's critical. You got to make sure like, okay, this is worth it at the end of the day. And like, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Like Frankie, top tier example right here. Like he learned from Clay. I've been seeing you in the early days with Clay Lawrence. Like you guys hopped on, I think like one Zoom call. You guys were just starting out like a month or two in, or it got to be like early times.
Uh,
And
Is
I
this
was
like in his like the past recordings? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, past recordings. And I'm like, I started looking at the Google reviews things, integrated real well with high level. And it's like, I'm like, okay, let's do the Google reviews. And then I saw your cold call scripts because I was like, okay, this is like hand in hand. Um, and then you just finish strong with like the cold calls. If like, you have a decision maker not on the line, try get an email. Like that's the best thing. Make progress on it. And then if you hate cold calling like I did, you get more comfortable. So it's a win-win overall. That's my advice, I would say, just because you could do everything. You could do DM outreach, you could do ads, you could do all sorts of things. There's endless possibilities. But when you like get new to one, you're gonna suck. You're gonna suck completely. So just if you acknowledge at least like, hey, at least me sucking is gonna make improvement, man, it's worth it. So that's my advice. But I've been in the game for like 3 years, so like that's just what I've learned. I'm like, it's a piece of shit to make progress, but we all decide to be, what we want to be. And if like this is the suck part of the day to do it, there's a good saying, an old cat I met. He was like, because every single day when I showed up to an old job, he was like, I always tell him like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. There's so many other things to be. He was like, well, if it's gonna like you're gonna be here and it sucks, might as well just make the most out of it. And then I took that to heart. So like, I think you said it too, Frank, like joke around like when you're doing the cold calls or like mix it up a little bit, like keep yourself entertained, make sure that you still love doing it, even though, it's chosen suffering, you got so many other things to worry about in life. This is the least of your worries.
100%. Yeah. It's a decision. It's chosen suffering, but as long as you understand that this suffering is leading to something great long term, then it makes a lot of sense. But I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, there's some people doing like multi-channel outreach in here. I think one important thing, I don't know, we're 8 months into the business really, and so we've just kind of decided to go heavy on cold calling, but integrating cold DMs and cold email into that process is definitely on our radar for next year as well. I also try to remember they're probably tired too. And the phone. They have hard jobs. Yeah, it's empathy. If people are being rude or they're hanging up on you, it's like just can't take it personal because at the end of they are running a business. They're running a plumbing company. They're running an HVAC company, and it's all timing. My manager in door to door, he would always say, like when we'd left, I'd get out of the car to go knock for 8 hours a day. He'd be like, "Best of timing to you." Because we just knew that it is truly a there is a level of fate in terms of when the success comes, and it only happens by putting yourself in the position enough for where they just ate food, their wife's not yelling at them, business is good. Yeah, let me listen to this guy, whatever the situation is, and putting yourself in that position. um Marin's been one of the most consistent. What's your cold call schedule look like? How do you structure that with your life and your day and making that a part of what you do?
I usually go on a walk every morning, just 'cause I like to I literally don't even like listen to music or anything. I just like walk. Sometimes I'll listen to a video, but I feel like that helps kind of like clear my mind. Honestly, just feeling like really peaceful. And then I wish I should call earlier in the morning. Not I wish, because I make my own schedule. But I usually like get stuff done in the morning, like tasks, because like I'll think about tasks and like they just bother me if I don't get them done. And then I typically call more like later morning, earlier afternoon, take a lunch break.
Nice. Nice. Do
Yeah.
you have like metrics in your head of like what you want to hit every day? Is it a time thing? Like I want to spend this amount of time, or is it just like
Yeah, I've been honestly doing like a number. Like I've been trying to shoot for like at least 80 calls a day. I've been honestly pretty good about doing that, except last week I was so sick, so I literally didn't work a couple days because I was so sick last week on the call. So I'm back to it this week. Onboarded two this week, which was awesome. And Yeah, just kind of trying to go back. I feel like I've been complicating like the script. I've been like trying to change it up every time, and like I don't need to change it up every time. Like it's worked before, so like I feel like I always need to be improving, but like it's been working, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I know
So,
it's a tough thing of like when do I adapt or change and when is that the right time to do that? But if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I'm sure like and that's the hard part about sales is like you never know what thing you said was the thing that made them decide to book the appointment or buy, right? An
mhm.
amalgamation, it's a combination of several different things, typically. But at least for us, I feel like getting to the point faster, building a connection, which like somebody posted a script. Because another philosophy I see is like ours is way more conversational, just question based and going back and forth. Where like if you guys know, I don't know if you know RSN or Glen Coco, but it's a platform for more like um, high level, like tech sales, calling like Fortune 500 companies, and they kind of have like a long-winded approach where they like do a permission-based opener, and then they speak for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then at the end it's like, "Are you down?" You know. I haven't tested that approach with this. There was a post in the group recently about that, uh, but it's just a different style, and that's why again, that's why I always say it. Glen Coco looks cool for anyone who does B2B tech is 1099. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you can hop inside there and basically like pick an offer, start calling for it, and but it's a different type of people. We're calling small business owners, and the way you speak to them compared to speaking to like high level like or like executive type corporate. I've never been in the corporate space, so like I've avoided that kind of jargon, but
Can I?
Totally. And
Oh, sorry. Go
oh,
ahead.
go
No, no, no.
ahead,
Go
Blake.
ahead. Please, you.
Well, I was gonna say I like that because the jargon doesn't work really well with SMB and small business owners. So I've been in both for a little bit, and I've had to adapt exactly because of that. They're just like, dude, just tell it to me straight, like what is this, and so yeah, the Glen Coco stuff, I think they, and frankly, if for anyone who's on LinkedIn or if you're heavy on the B2B side, it's like the daily, weekly debate of like which opener to use. And so it kind of started there like 5 years. Now it's everywhere since we're all marketers and good stuff. But yeah, it's, any of them work, especially the ones that work. But it's part of it, the way I was taught to think about it in B2B is, your list is your strategy. So you want to, cater your message to that list. And so, I think
I like that.
shorter openers can be good. And I like thinking about calls as a tennis match. And, you don't get to hit a tennis ball more than once when it's your turn and you got to wait for them to return it to you. And so I think that gives the prospect a sense of control. Oftentimes we're taught to think about how prospects love saying no, even if it does or doesn't mean rejecting you. It might just mean you get to continue the conversation further, which can be a great thing.
Hmm. I like that. Your list is your strategy. Yeah, the type of person you're talking to is how you need to adjust your approach. That's one thing I took from that. That makes a lot of sense. And with plumbers, HVAC guys, if I start talking about I can't even. What's a jargon word that I hear? Would it be worth your time to circle back on this at the on this proposal at the end of yeah, like they're gonna be like, shit, this guy sucks. But Blake, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was like resonating with what Marin was saying. Uh, like trying to change the script, but feeling like I personally feel like sometimes things get derailed if I really go off script and I just try to like just sometimes you can just be real with them and it goes well, but sometimes like if they're not feeling you and they're not really sold on you and stuff, you don't really have the rapport. I feel like it can get derailed where I don't get to like ask them, I don't get to lead the conversation asking them to book a demo with me. They're just like, send me an email. Can you send me an email? And once they ask me that, it's hard to like I mean, I've worked on trying to be more aggressive, being like, Actually, it's actually sometimes it's hard to get a hold of people if I send an email and stuff. So it'd be ideal if we could schedule like a demo call or something while you're at your computer for 10 minutes. But I feel like once they bring up the email, it's kind of hard to go back from there. So just staying on track, like with your script and you getting the kind of the upper hand, if you will. Yeah.
Have you tried, I think we spoke about that last week or the week before, like, hey, shoot me straight. Is this something that you even have interest in? Have you
No,
tried that?
that's really great.
Yeah, because that'll pull out the objection. Like I can send an email, but just to save each other's time, is this something you even want to do? Like, is this something you have any inkling of interest in? Then they'll say why not, and then I can loop. Or you can avoid it and be like, I can send an email, but let me ask you this, and just ask a question that's like, because well, like we call like in door to door, it was like if they had a smoke screen, like, oh, can I have a card? You know how often I heard that? Can I have a card? Like I can give you a card, and then I would just continue on with my script. So I would just blow past it. So you can kind of treat it that way sometimes, depending on the vibe of just like, oh, can you send an email? Sure, I could send you an email. But do you guys use this CRM or do you like how? I don't know if it would make sense. Pull back. But honestly, I don't even know if this makes sense. Do you guys? How many people do you have monthly coming through your business right now? Approximately. A question like that. How many people have you served in the past that we could request a review from? I like that question too because now I'm getting them to think in numbers. Oh, I have a list of 1,000 people. Oh, wow. Because now we could turn an email into them going, okay, I have 1,000 people. It's like, yeah, dude, if we can just get 10% of them to leave a review, like, what would that do? How would that help your business? Do you think because I mean, this guy over here, I mean, and I have started to do this a little bit more of like playing on the competition vibe of like, there's people in your area that have hundreds of reviews, right? So if I'm a new homeowner and I have my pipe burst and I see this guy has 300 reviews and you guys have 30, like which one am I going to choose? It's so black and white, and then and just pulling, and then now the email thing is, and if they say it again, now you can address it of like, is this something you even have interest in? So in my head, I would blow past it once, and then bring them back if you haven't used those questions yet, and then if they say it again, like I can text you over, but is this something that you have interest in? That's my email rant because I don't like that one. Well, I think it's one that you can actually it is the most trainable on to get past, to be honest. Just like a card and door to door. It's like I can give you a card, keep going. But righty. McGregor, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well.
What's going on?
How's life? How's biz?
It's going good. It's going good. Yeah, just doing a bunch of cold calls and yeah, it's basically been it.
Heck yeah. How's the calling going?
It's going good. It's going good. I just kind of feel like I don't know. This whole world of business is just like as long as you just don't quit. There was like a Hormozy video that came out like the other day. It was
Yep.
basically like if you roll the dice, a bunch of times, eventually you're gonna land on a client. Get new clients and then just keep growing your business. So it's really just a matter of staying in the game. So I don't know. That was kind of cool. Kind of cool way to think about it. But yeah.
Dude, I actually watched that video maybe an hour ago. And
Yeah, same.
yeah, so basically what he's saying is that like imagine the game of business is that we each get handed a die, and imagine this die could have, 200 sides or 20 sides, and every time you roll, and each side is either green or red. And when you roll, if it rolls red, then nothing happens, you roll again. If you roll green, well now that side permanently turns to green. And so essentially the game is if you just keep your die might have 200 sides and only two green ones, right? But so eventually you hit those greens and everyone has different starting points, like all these like 17-year-old kids that are making millions of dollars off of TikTok. Man, that messed me up for such a long time. I actually really quickly want to talk on that because that fucked me up for years. On comparison, like truly, guys, how you when I see someone else win now, I get stoked. But it took me so long to do that. I used to just be like, fuck man, like what am I doing that like why can't I have that? Right. And it's like, oh, poor me mindset. And and what I realized is just like, hey, everyone, it doesn't matter. Like like if you win at like it would be sick to win at 17, but you know that's gonna have a whole other bunch of issues that comes like shit, I'm a multimillionaire at 22. Now what do I do, right? And you're gonna have a whole bunch of like everyone's got their shit and everyone's journey's different. Doesn't matter. But if you can train your brain to like see someone else winning and be like, yes. And I had to like actually really rehearse this in my head of like recognizing the trigger of like seeing someone else winning and like getting jealous or whatever and being like, fuck that. That's awesome because that's gonna be me. Like, you know, so just training your brain not to have that issue with comparison. But um Avery, what you got?
I couldn't agree more. Comparison is the thief of joy.
100%, dude.
It absolutely is. Yeah, I had to go through a lot of the same mental reps. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm on the same page. I see somebody else win, I'm like, dude, fuck yeah. If they can do it, I can do it too. That's just kind of where my mind goes is I'm better than nobody, but at the same time, nobody's better than me.
Mhm.
So I'm capable of any and everything just like the rest.
Yep.
The cards, you brought up the cards earlier. I actually put Marin onto this. I hope that it's working out well for you, but the dot cards.
The dot cards. Oh, I have heard this. The scannable ones.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, it's a scannable side, a QR side, and then a NFC tab.
And you're doing tell because this kind of correlates to what you said
Yeah,
earlier. Tell us about your networking and how you approach that because I avoid
yeah.
it. Um,
So you don't like networking?
I for this business, I like we almost joined a BNI that was and
Yeah,
um I built this business for time freedom and I want to be also be able to travel here soon.
yeah.
So like having commitment, but I'm all I'm not opposed to it, but and I just haven't done it a lot. So
So I mean, like BNIs and stuff like that, it's all about giver's gain, right? So everybody in there is constantly networking, referring one another. But one common thing that I've noticed is if you provide good work for just one person, they turn into a cheerleader instantly, and they will be telling any and everybody they can about you. But the way that I look at it is, okay, I'm stepping into this room, and now I have a captive audience of 60 plus other business owners. I'm not going to get to talk to all of them, but that's okay because they give out a sheet. So then I get in there, I pick out my prime targets, and I go talk to those people, and I set up an appointment right then and there. And then after I leave there, I leave with this sheet. I go through that and I call everybody off of that. I set 6 appointments today just off of doing that.
mm,
Um, but yeah, like BNI Chamber of Commerce, that's okay. But what I've noticed is the more organized the group, better results I'm getting, at least thus far. I mean, I'm still new kid on the block. Um, but yeah, I'm loving it. It's like door to door, but everybody's at one door.
right, what it's one to many, right, in person, and there's a lot of value in that for sure. I also felt with the BNI thing that like my network, I didn't feel like I was gonna be able to provide enough referrals, and that made me feel weird. I was like, you guys are all gonna buy my stuff, but like I my age like I was the younger dude there, and like my generation, very few are buying homes, and like I don't know. I didn't it didn't feel right, but if I get an opportunity to speak, that makes a lot of sense. And then Star, you mentioned you just went to a networking event for home services. Where'd you find that?
So I think it was a guy in Clay's group. He said he's been going to home services event. And I tapped into that months ago, and I said, I went on Google and I just typed in home services event near me, and there were so many in cities near me. So I put them all on the calendar. Didn't go to any of them. My back went out again, and the boys and everything. So I finally went to my first one this weekend, and I was like, okay, I can do this. So it was similar to what the script was, where I just immediately walked up to them and I said, hi, I offer marketing services for home service businesses, reputation management, but I did drop three services, which might have been overkill. But what I found is like some people are like, oh, we need that. We don't need this. And then some people are like, one guy was like, we need this, and that. So I got three leads out of that, which I felt it wasn't a huge session, but now I'm more inspired to go to more of these events. So that's why I was asking about the dot card, because I had some cards printed very cheaply, but I did collect their cards, which was most important to me. So I wanted to find out about the dot card and a little bit more about that, because I have cards with a QR code to test Clay's thing that we have on our website. And then on the back, I have a QR code to test the voice AI agent.
Am I cool to chime in?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The dot cards, what I like about them is rather than traditional business card goes in the back pocket, gets washed, or goes in the purse and gets crumpled up and it stays there forever. With this guy, you tap it on there, you can set an option for a form there. They'll fill out their information, boom, that gets emailed directly to you. So now you can follow up.
Okay,
Um,
so you do have a way to get their information because there was a lady that did something with her phone. I went to an event, not for me to sell, and she had me plug in my info, but I don't know, I just fell off from there, so I don't know what hers was. I don't think she had a card though, something with her phone.
Probably a
But
QR.
yeah, I'll try that out.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm loving it. It's working great for me.
So you're giving when you tap their phone to your phone or to the card, they
Mhm.
get your card, they get your data into their phone, then they get a form presented, or do they just get the form?
So the form pops up first. They fill out those couple pieces of info, and then there's a button. They just hit that, boom, it downloads my contact straight to their phone. That way,
Okay,
when I reach out to them, it's, hey, it's Avery.
they know that you're there. Okay, perfect. I'm going to purchase that. And then I wanted to ask you, Avery, you mentioned when you went to this BNI event, you booked calls with everyone. So did you like literally just walk around to each person, introduce yourself, what you offered, and say, hey, can I schedule a call for this week? Or do you mind digging
Yeah.
deeper into that? If
I
that's
used to do
allowed,
it that way.
Frankie, I don't want to.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I
Yeah.
used to do it. I'll make it quick. I used to do it that way, but it takes too much time. So now what I do is I go chat with them really quickly, introduce myself. Hey, is it cool if I reach out to you over the next couple of days? And 9 times out of 10, they say yes. And then I go ahead and book my demo there, and I'll either go to them or we hop on a Zoom call. But I mean, yeah, it's working.
So when you say, is it okay if I reach out to you in a few days, you actually book a call right then and there.
Some of them, they'll be like, yeah, I'm free tomorrow. And then I'll just, cool, I'll throw you in the calendar.
Okay.
Or they'll not know. And then I'll just reach out to them and at that point in time, I'll schedule a call. But then I've already built some rapport with them. There's at least a level of trust.
Okay, thank you.
I
And
love that.
also, Frankie, I wanted to compliment you so much. Because you mentioned something about your age, and please never let that stop you. Like, I think that's your prime to just go so hard.
Thank you. Yeah. I think it was more just like the group and like me giving referrals to them of like plumbers, electricians and stuff. I don't know. I was like, I don't think my friends own houses, but most of them don't yet. But I appreciate that. Um, yeah, okay, cool. So, Murillo, how's biz for you, bro?
What's up, man? Business is great. Something crazy happened. A client that I've been doing reviews for 6 months. Like they really like me. We met up in person. I started with them when I was still living in Spain. Now I moved to South Florida, which is where they are. I met with them in person, and I've been helping them out with sales. They've been getting way too many leads from Facebook, and they're not good at calling and stuff. So I've been helping them out with that. And I'm hoping, I don't know, to also break into this home service space because now I can give referrals for people who need like curtains and stuff. So I'm still selling, always calling and stuff. Uh, and did anyone see Clay's job post thing? Like, is anyone gonna take that? That's something I'm looking into as well. But yeah, things have been good, man.
That's not a bad play, bro. I saw Clay post that, which is scaling with the sales team is kind of like what Sam and I's like initial approach was for reviews. You would need, and it makes sense for him because he has these leads coming in. It's actually a great sales, but like you're not actually. I could be wrong, but you're basically taking inbound leads, which sounds fantastic, right?
Yeah, he figured out the formula for the ads. He has so many people coming in. He told me like so many, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, you should look into that if that's the move. I for Facebook ads and selling something that's like higher ticket, it's easier to scale a sales team. If you're if you don't have the budget to like pay, because I imagine it's not just commission. I imagine there's like a base involved with that.
I'm doing pure commission.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's solid. Solid.
Let's
Yeah.
go. I've never the sales jobs I've had have all always been pure commission. So
Yeah, me too. I feel like that's the best way, you stay hungry, like you work a lot and you build skills. You don't stay complacent.
yeah, 100%.
Commission ain't bad as long as they got a good pipeline. If they got a good pipeline and the right targeting, then commission is great.
Yeah, as long as there's leads, coming in, that's the important part. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Huh? Actually, I just realized that. Any closing things anyone wants to chat with before we end here? Anything in particular? I feel like it's just about. I hope it's just about doing it. It's just about calling, and I see the people in here doing it. I love doing this to hear other people's wins because it gets lonely doing this by yourself. So I really appreciate y'all coming in here and chatting. So software. Okay, you did ask this earlier. So software for so I think you can just Abukar. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I don't know this 100% if anyone else does. I think you can just buy a number inside of, like, I use Close as our CRM. If you just register, I think you need to have like a physical address though to get your phone number verified. I don't know. I live in the States, so I'm not sure, but there is YouTube videos that you can watch on how to set that up. Use AI, dude. One thing, this is something for myself and everybody. It's called anytime you have a question and like you feel like you don't know the answer, just like really just go to AI and do it, and it's gonna help you a ton. Because like even earlier I asked something, I was like I could just look that up, but yeah, man, you can figure that out. If I find anything after this call on how to do that, because I've had other people ask me that, I'll let you know. Sometimes I feel bad because I don't know those because I'm in the States. I don't know how those experiences of the people that follow me that are in other countries, but um, cool, guys. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a fantastic night, and I look forward to seeing you next time. You guys are killers. Let's crush this week. Let's make some money, and talk to you soon.
Appreciate your time. Take care, brother.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah.
Guys.